Mataji, can we start?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept our humble obeisances.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Can we start or should we wait for a few minutes?
Ji, we can start, Mataji. Devotees will join.
They will join. Okay.
Please, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. We do some kirtan just for 5 minutes and then we'll start the class. It's okay?
Yes, please, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Bandhava Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Lalita Vishwata Jaya Radhesham Radhesham Jaya Radhesham Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvarajagacharya Stottara Sat Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvarajagacharya Ashtottara Sat Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Vancha Kalpatarupyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Before we go into today's class, we will recite prayers to the Bhagavatam, the Krishna Leela Stava prayers. Nice. Sarva Shastrapti Piyusha Sarva Vedaika Satphala Sarva Siddhantaratmatya Sarva Lokaika Drikpada Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kalidavunte Davitya Sri Krishna Parivartita. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, you are most prominent transcendental fruit of the Vedas and are enriched with the jewels of all philosophical conclusions. You grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world and are the very life breath of the Vaishnava devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Actually, your Lord Krishna was returned among us. Paramananda Patyaya Premavashaksharayate Sarvata Sarvasevyaya Sri Krishnaya Namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectable obeisances unto you. By your recitation, one attains transcendental bliss because your syllables shower down pure love of God. You are to be served by everyone else, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Madekabandho matsangin matkuro manmahadana mannestaraka madbhagya madananda namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion and my teacher, O my great wealth and deliverer, O my good fortune and bliss, I offer respectable obeisances unto you. Asadu sadhu tadayini ati nichochata kara hana mucha kadachinmam premahrit kantayus puran. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O bestower of the saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Accompanied by pure love of Krishna, please manifest yourself in my heart and soul. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhakti bhavati naishtaki. Om ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone for today's class. Before we go into today's class, we want to see if anyone remembers anything from the last class. A quick refreshment. Any remembrances, please? Any remembrances? Because last chapter has a lot to do with this, the chapter that we are going to do today. Yes, Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
So, Mataji, in the last class, we basically read, how Prithu Maharaj was prayed to by the, his citizens, that how they are right now, hungry and they don't have, they were becoming skinny, and they requested him to provide for them. And then Prithu Maharaj basically got angry with Mother Earth, and then he gave various reasons why he should kill her. But then Mother Earth took the form of a cow and then prayed to him and told him why he should not kill him, and so on and so forth. In the end, basically, she was the one praying to him that please do not.
Okay.
And there was this
Please
whole
do not.
conversation going on between Prithu Maharaj and the cow. And the earth, Mother Earth.
Mother. But she took the shape of a cow.
Cow, yes, Mother.
Yes. Any lessons that we learned in the last class? Any significant lessons? Yes, this is the pastime, but any significant lessons? Nothing? Yes, Priya Mataji, Priya Satyabhama. Your hand is raised. Is it from the past or
It
for
was
the
for previously, but
present?
I was actually thinking about, what we can add in here. So maybe we can say, that I don't know how correct this is in putting in here as a lesson, but maybe Prithu Maharaj was too quick to judge Mother Earth, maybe, and maybe, he could have maybe not gotten angry, but he was thinking about his citizens as well, that how he can take care of them in a proper manner.
But do you think Prithu
Maybe.
Maharaj's anger is not just justified?
No, that way, Mataji, when he was trying to take care of his citizens, so it is justified as well. Or maybe there was a subtle approach. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Jagat Mata Sachi Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna.
Maji, my lesson is that when a leader or a king is a pious man and very powerful man, everyone obeys him, and
Ah,
he can make anybody to obey him.
okay. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yes, if we want something to get into practice, then we have to be little strong in our sadhana and then in our bhakti. Then, we can make things happen. Yes, that's nice. Anything else? Okay, so we will go to today's class. Thank you so much for the contributions. Yes. So today's class will be focused on chapter 18 and 19. I'm planning to finish chapter 19 too. Let's see how Krishna willing. Yes, so chapter 18, we will read the translations and then we will discuss the purports wherever and then add some points. So as we know, Prithu Maharaj is angry with Mother Earth, and Mother Earth was trying to pacify. She was horrified. She was running around the universe, but Prithu was also chasing, and he was not willing to forgive and let go. But instead, he actually gave reasons why Mother Earth was not doing justice, and she is worthy to get punished. So this particular chapter, 18th chapter, Prithu Maharaj, milking the Mother Earth, planet Earth, there are 32 verses, and the first 11 verses, 1 to the 11, the Earth is making plea again. She decided to make a plea to Prithu, and then she also tells Prithu how to milk her. That means how to get things back from her, the methods. And verses 12 to the 28, Prithu plus others, the other great learned people, the sages and other leaders of other living entities, they also take the advantage and they try to milk the Mother Earth and they get benefits out of it. 29 to 32 is establishment of the planned cities, that how Prithu was able to construct the cities and how he was able to level the grounds, everything. So it's the 3 divisions. So verse 1, the great Saint Maitreya continued to address Vidura. My dear Vidura, at that time after planet Earth finished her prayers, King Prithu was still not pacified. His lips trembled in great anger. Although the planet Earth was frightened, she made up her mind and began to speak as follows in order to convince the king. So Mother Earth decided to convince, seeing she was able to study the bodily symptoms, and she understood that Prithu is not pacified with my prayers. So I still have to convince him. Verse 2, my dear Lord, please pacify your anger completely and hear patiently whatever I submit before you. Please turn your kind attention to this. I may be very poor, but a learned man takes the essence of knowledge from all the places, just as bumblebee collects honey from each and every flower. So what she's telling, by nature, I'm not very intelligent. I am very poor, but you being the master, you please hear out to my words and take the valuable things out of my words so that, you will be able to do justice. First, hear out to me, and then, I will offer the solution for the problems, and then you can act according to it. Verse 3. To benefit all the human society, not only in this life, but in the next, the great seers and sages have prescribed various methods conducive to the prosperity of people in general. And Prabhupada in the purport mentions that the great sages follow always Shrutis and Smritis. And he quotes that this is a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidim Vina Ahintaki Hari Bhaktir Upayantaive Kalpate. So anyone, devotional service to the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic scriptures like Upanishads, Puranas, Narada Pancharatra, and it's just nothing but a simply disturbance. So Prabhupada is saying, Prabhupada is writing in the purport saying that, how Rupa Goswami says that one will be advancing in spiritual life only if one is able to follow the scriptures as it is given by the sages. So whatever is needed for our spiritual life, it's already mentioned. And also Prabhupada mentions that how the woman should not be given independence, how she has to be taken care at all times. But the modern independent woman, they think we don't need anyone, we don't need any guardians. So without the guardians, what is happening to them? They're basically unhappy, unsatisfied. So Prabhupada is relating to the modern problems of the society, and he's saying that, oh, this is what happens, this is the result, so that we are able to see, okay, this is what is happening in the society. We are able to relate to it. And in the last paragraph, Prabhupada says, he uses two significant words, asmin and anusmin. Asmin means in this life, amusmin means in the next life. So whatever the great sages propound, the messages in the Vedas, in the Shastras, it is to benefit in this life as well as in the next. And at the end, Prabhupada writes, it is therefore essential that people follow what is given in Shrutis and Smritis to make sure that human mission is successful. So oftentimes we see that, the rules and regulations as something that binds us, it ties us down. But it's actually helping us to get freedom from this material existence. It helps us to achieve the mission, the human mission, to return to home, back to Godhead. So that's why it is very important that we understand why we are studying the Shastra and what is in the Shastra and how can we apply the Shastra. Any comments or questions on this? Any comments or questions? Any addition?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prithu Maharaj was king of whole earth, or where? Because
He's the emperor.
Mataji. Yeah, he's the emperor. He was, but where is his capital? If he was emperor of this uh, earth, then why all these devatas or gandharvas or yakshas or all these Peter, Arema, they came here for milking the cows? Means he was king of everyone, or only earth?
No, I think he's the emperor of the entire earth, but also the two things. One is that when King Vena was the king, he stopped all kinds of sacrifices. So everyone were benefit of the results of those sacrifices. You will see that, the Mother Earth will be complaining that, this is all because of your father. She is indirectly criticizing King Prithu that, it's not just my mistake, it's because of your father. So he actually stopped all kinds of sacrifices. And also, King Prithu, being the partial incarnation of Lord Vishnu, this kind of arrangement is made to show that how powerful is King Prithu. But also in the later chapters, we will see, although he is so great, he's so powerful, still he's very obedient to the four Kumaras. He's very obedient to Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma, and also how he's purely interested in the practice of devotional service. So this is an example to show that, a pure devotee is not bewildered by any kinds of power or opulences. That is my understanding. I also thought of the same thing when I was reading this chapter. Anything that you want to add, Prabhu?
No, Mataji, thank you. Nice answer, Mataji. Because I was thinking, because when we do yajna, then the demigods or the Arama Pitas, they get their food. So, or when we do cultivation or field cropping, then all the means animals will get food. So, I think it's nice, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. But
Thank you,
but
Prabhu.
still the confusion is he was ruling on this earth only or whole means till Swargaloka down all
No,
the
no, he's
planets.
not. He wasn't ruling Svargaloka, because it's very clear. Because when Prithu will be performing the 100 sacrifices, Ashwamedha Yagnas, Indra is afraid that he will occupy his post. So it is a clue that maybe he's not ruling the three worlds. He is the emperor on the entire earth, Bhumandala. But our understanding of Bhumandala and the Bhagavatam Bhumandala is little different. When we come to Canto 5, we will see that it will be it is the 7 dvipas. Yeah, the 7 dvipas are included, and so it's bigger than what we think. It's a simple globe-shaped Earth. It's more than that.
There's so many planets in the Bhumandala.
Yeah, so I think he is ruling the entire Bhumandala, maybe.
Okay.
Because you will see also the sacrifice where he will be performing, that is Brahmavarta, where Swayambhuva Manu is there. So that is not in Jambudvipa, I think.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, so it looks like he's ruling the entire Bhumandala. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
So we will continue. 4. Mother Earth is telling, one who follows the principles and instructions enjoined by the great ages of the past can utilize these instructions for practical purposes. Such a person can very easily enjoy life and pleasures. So Prabhupada here is saying that everyone, is abhoda jata. That means he's a born fool and a rascal. That means we are just born out of ignorance. When we recite the prayers to the Guru, Om Agyana Timirandasya, what are we saying? We are born out of ignorance, but you, the spiritual master, please help. You are awakening us and bringing us this light of knowledge. So Mother Earth is saying that these great sages, they give the principles and instructions in the Shastras, and if someone is taking them and applying, then they will have a very complete life. They can enjoy life, and they can enjoy the pleasures even in this lifetime. So Prabhupada says here the Vedic principles, Mahajano yena ganta sapanta, urges us to follow the footsteps of great liberated souls. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also writes another meaning of this verse, saying that this is 4, right? Yes. So normally the inexperienced people, they don't know how to apply. But the sages have given the methods how we can apply so that we will be successful. So it's two-way. One is that we have to follow the acharyas so that our life will be very successful. Second, because we are being inexperienced, we need these practical instructions. When applied, then our life will be successful. 5. A foolish person who manufactures his own ways and means through mental speculation and does not recognize the authority of sages who lay down unimpeccable directions is simply unsuccessful again and again in his attempts. So if we don't follow what is given by the acharyas, what is given in the shastras, and we go just by the mental speculation, then what happens? We are just simply unsuccessful. Why is it so? Prabhupada says this is because conditioned soul has 4 problems. Can you state the 4 defects? Anyone? It's clearly given in the purport.
Cheating propensity, imperfect senses.
Yes.
This one, Mataji.
Yes. Yes. Cheating
Dham
propensity to commit mistakes.
Karna Patava. It's given in
Yes.
CP, Mataji.
Yes. So because the conditioned soul is hampered by these 4 defects, he is sure to commit mistakes, he is sure to become illusion, he has a tendency to cheat others, his senses are imperfect. Out of these 4 also, if you see, 3 are somewhat unavoidable, but 1 can be avoided. Can you guess which can be avoided?
Cheating propensity.
Cheating propensity.
Cheating propensity, yes. You know, because we being conditioned, we tend to make mistakes. And then because we are conditioned, illusion has become a natural thing. It's like a second nature now. And our senses are always imperfect. But the tendency to cheat others can be withdrawn away when we follow the Guru Sadhu Shastra. What happens when we follow Guru Sadhu Shastra? We leave about this cheating propensity. And because of we leaving the cheating propensity, we will be coming out of the illusion also. And of course, the 2 other defects may or may not, is regarded so strongly as what the cheating propensity and being illusion is. So Prabhupada said, then someone may ask a question that how is that, we will become spiritual master because we are not perfect. Then Prabhupada writes, this Krishna conscious movement directly receives instructions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead via persons who are strictly following his instructions. Although a follower may not be a liberated person, if he follows the Supreme Liberated Personality of Godhead, his actions are naturally liberated from the contamination of the material nature. Lord Chaitanya therefore says, by my order, you become a spiritual master. So we are given the instruction to go out and preach, but we are the conditioned soul and we have these 4 defects. So how can we do justice? So Prabhupada is making it clear for us. Yes, we may be imperfect. We may have these 4 defects, but by following the instructions of the spiritual master and Krishna, we actually can help others. We can help ourselves and we can help others. But in the other way around, if materialistic men are not interested in taking directions from a liberated person, but they're very much interested in their own concocted ideas, which make them repeatedly fail in their attempts. Because the entire world is now following imperfect directions of the conditioned souls, humanity is completely bewildered. So this Vedic knowledge and Vedic wisdom is missing, so the humanity is suffering. 6. My dear king, the seeds, roots, herbs, grains which were created by Lord Brahma in the past are now being used by non-devotees who are devoid of all spiritual understanding. Now Mother Earth is actually giving the reason why. She's saying, yes, you said what you said is true. Lord Brahma has given all the seeds, the roots, herbs, and grains. But because they're used by non-devotees, I decided not to produce anymore. Then here, if you go further in the first paragraph, Prabhupada says, however, the planet Earth in the shape of a cow herein submits that all utilities are being used by non-devotees who have no plans for spiritual understanding. Although there are immense potencies within the earth for production of grains, fruits, and flowers, This production is checked by the earth itself when it is misused by non-devotees who have no spiritual goals. Everything belongs to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everything can be used for his satisfaction. Things should not be used for sense gratification of living entities. This is the whole plan of material nature according to the directions of material nature. So here, Mother Earth is saying that, I have withdrawn. Yes, what you said is true. What you protested that, I am not giving the food production. That's because people are non-devotees. They are not worshipping Krishna. And they're eating this grain for their sense gratification. And Prabhupada says that non-devotees are grihavritas and devotees are dridavritas. They are dridavritas because they decided to overcome the material nature by taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whereas the non-devotees, they decided to engage in this sense gratification, rejecting the Lord. So, because of the consequences of not worshipping the Lord, because of the consequences of having godless civilization, people are facing so many drought, famine problems because earth is deliberately refusing to serve them. And at the end of the paragraph, Prabhupada writes, in modern times, Kali Yuga, however, people have forgotten Vishnu altogether, and they conduct their activities for sense gratification. Such people will gradually become poverty-stricken, for they cannot use things which are to be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord for their own sense gratification. If they continue like this, there will ultimately be a state of poverty, and no grains, fruits, or flowers will be produced. Indeed, it is in the stated in the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam that at the end of the Kali Yuga, people will be so polluted that there will be no longer any grains, wheat, sugarcane, or milk. 7. My dear king, not only are grains and herbs being used by non-devotees, but as far as I am concerned, I'm not being properly maintained. Indeed, I'm being neglected by kings who are not punishing these rascals who have turned into thieves by using grains for sense gratification. Consequently, I have hidden all these seeds which were meant for the performance of sacrifice. So here she is stating that, kings who are supposed to be responsible, they are also not performing their duties. And an example is your own father, King. Because of when King Vena was ruling, and was taking everything for sense gratification, rejecting the Lord, and the sacrifice. Sorry, I think internet. Sorry. You're able to see my screen? Not yet. Okay, now you're able to see. So, Mother Earth is saying that, I am benefit of all the sacrifices and there is no offerings made to the Krishna. So I also decided to turn away, And then Prabhupada uses the word chore bhuti, indicates that population that has turned to thievery. According to Vedic understanding, men are transformed into thieves when they plan economic development for sense gratification. So if we are just focused only on the economic development, but not on the our Krishna consciousness or our spiritual life, this is what it will take us to. People will turn into thieves. And Mother Earth will also be withdrawing her mercy upon us. Verse 8. Due to being stocked for a very long time, all the grain seeds within me have certainly deteriorated. Therefore, you should immediately arrange to take these seeds out by a standard process. which is recommended by acharyas or shastras. So there are ways how these seeds can be withdrawn. So she's telling Prithu, she's requesting Prithu actually, now these seeds are in the subtle form. So you make arrangements so that these seeds can be taken from me back again. And Prabhupada writes in the first paragraph at the end, there in the Kali Yuga, the only sacrifice recommended is Sankirtan Yajna. There is no other sacrifice which will work. There are no other methods which will actually work in this Kali Yuga. And anytime here also you see the mood of Mother Earth. She is always emphasizing that we should go back and do things the way our sages and the teachers and the spiritual masters are indicating. So anytime when we are in a dilemma what to do, it's always better to take guidance. Take guidance from the Sadhu Guru Shastra, and do things in an approved way. If we don't do things in an approved way, what happens? We can become mental speculators. Even though we are practicing devotees, if we don't take guidance of the Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, we will always be, bewildered and diverted from the main purpose. And in the second paragraph, Prabhupada says, in this verse, there are two significant words, yogena, by the approved method, and drishtena, as exemplified by the former acharyas. One is mistaken if he thinks that by applying modern machines such as tractors, grains can be produced. If one goes to a desert and uses the tractor, there's no possibility of producing grains. We may adopt various means, but it is essential to know that the planet Earth will stop producing grains if sacrifices are not performed. So we may be very technologically very advanced, but if we don't follow what Mother Earth is asking us, pleading us to do, then she will withdraw. Then nothing of the technology will work. So we have so many farm projects. So our farm communities, farm projects are an example. Srila Prabhupada wanted these farm projects. Why? Because he wanted to show when you have Krishna in the center, how Krishna will supply everything on an ample way, right? Whereas you may have the best of the technologies, but you don't have Krishna in the center, then everything will deteriorate. And at the end, to the purpose, no one can check this, not by introducing so many relief funds or humanitarian institutions. Unless people take to Krishna consciousness, there will be scarcity of food and much suffering. This is a very, warning, heavy warning for us, that if people don't take to Krishna consciousness, then there will be scarcity of food and there will be suffering. Verse 9 and 10. O great hero, protector of living entities, if you desire to relieve the living entities by supplying them sufficient grain, and if you desire to nourish them by taking milk from me, you should make arrangements to bring a calf suitable for this purpose and a pot in which milk can be kept, as well as a milkman to do the work. Since I will be very affectionate towards my calf, your desire to take milk from me will be fulfilled. So this is how the Mother Earth is saying that, if you want to take the seeds from me, then you have to make proper arrangements for that. So what is she suggesting? First of all, you should bring a calf, because I will be very affectionate to the calf, and then I will be able to give. Second, a suitable pot so that you can keep your desired result in it. And the milkman who can do this. Prabhupada writes about this in the report. These are nice instructions for milking a cow. The cow must first have a calf, so that out of affection for the calf, she will voluntarily give sufficient milk. There must also be expert milkman and a suitable pot in which to keep the milk. Just as a cow cannot deliver sufficient milk without being affectionate to her calf, the earth cannot produce sufficient necessities without feeling affection for those who are Krishna conscious. Even though the earth's being in the shape of a cow may be taken figuratively, the meaning herein is very explicit. Just as a calf can derive milk from a cow, all the living entities, including animals, birds, bees, reptiles, and aquatics, can receive their respective foods from the planet Earth, provided that human beings are not asat or adrita vrata, as we have previously discussed. When human society becomes asat or ungodly or devoid of Krishna consciousness, the entire world suffers. If human beings are well behaved, the animals will also receive sufficient food and be happy. The ungodly human, being ignorant of his duty to give protection and food to the animals, kills them to compensate for the insufficient production of grains. Thus, no one is satisfied, and that is the cause of the present condition in today's world. So, unless and until we are very affectionate to the Mother Earth, she will not give the supplies. And how can someone show affection to Mother Earth? By becoming Krishna conscious. When someone becomes Krishna conscious, they know how to utilize everything in the service of the Lord. And she wants to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Yes, Priya Satyabhama Mataji, your hand was up.
Mataji, I was only asking, just say we were discussing in the last class also that it was all figurative, that, Mother Earth took the shape of a cow to, just save herself. It was basically an act performed by her. But here, we see that she's actually taking it a little forward by, milkman and then a calf and everything. But the purpose says that, it is figurative still. So I'm a little bit confused right now. Oh, what is what? Like,
No, you don't
are
need
we
to be
taking
confused.
it?
No, it's both ways. It's both ways. One is figurative because Mother. See, they are personalities. These demigods can assume these take different shapes and forms. Here we understand Mother Earth will supply only when people are Krishna conscious. This is one thing, that this is a lesson that we have to take, that we have to become Krishna conscious so that the Mother Earth will be continuing her supply of grains or seeds or whatever is our necessities. Second, she is milked when there is a suitable calf, and depending upon the propensity of the living entity, they will derive. You will see from, this is starting from verses 12 onwards up to verses 25. You will see that how different living entities come and ask different things. We will see in one of the purports, Prabhupada will also mention that, the supplies from the material nature, it is also based on the propensities of these living entities. So it can be taken in both the ways. Yes, they're milking in one sense, but maybe it's just a figurative. But acharyas haven't really made it, haven't commented on that point. So we can take in both ways. That is my understanding.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Verse 11. My dear king, may I inform you that you have to make the entire surface of globe level. This will help me even when the rainy season has ceased. Rainfall comes by the mercy of King Indra. Rainfall will remain on the surface of the globe, always keeping the earth moistened, and thus it will be auspicious for all kinds of production. So what is saying, can you make the earth flat? Because so that the water will stay, I can retain the water. Otherwise, what happens when the earth is unleveled? The water is just, there is rain, and then the rainwater flows through the unlevel, and then it just goes into the ocean. It's not holding. So Prabhupada here says that level land is especially conducive to the production of the grain. So planet Earth requested Maharaj Prithu to level the surface of Earth, breaking up the high land and mountains. Now, from verses 12 to 28, we will see how Prithu and others will get benefits by milking the earth, and how she's supplying the needs of every living entity, whoever is approaching her with a desire. 12. After hearing the auspicious and pleasing words of planet Earth, the king accepted them. He then transformed Swayambhuva Manu into a calf and milked all the herbs and grains from the earth in the form of a cow, keeping them in the cupped hands. So he used his hands, and then he took Swayambhuva Manu, because he's very Krishna conscious, right? So he brought the Swayambhuva Manu as the calf, and Mother Earth gave all the herbs and grains from the earth. 13. Others who were as intelligent as King Prithu also took the essence out of earthly planet. Indeed, everyone took this opportunity to follow in the footsteps of King Prithu and get whatever he desired from the planet Earth. You remember the early voices she was telling, people who are very intelligent, they can take the essence out of the situation. So Mother Earth is, others who are also very intelligent like Prithu, they also decided to take benefits from Mother Earth. Here Prabhupada writes, the planet Earth is also called Vasundhara. The word Vas means wealth. Dhara means one who holds. All the creatures within the earth fulfill their necessities required for human beings, and all living entities can be taken out by the earth by the proper means. So, because she holds the wealth, different living entities are supplied with their necessities. So Prabhupada says that by regular performance of yajna, the equal distribution of wealth and restriction of sense gratification, the entire world will be made peaceful and prosperous. As already mentioned, in this age of Kali, the simple performance of Sankirtan Yajna, holding of the festivals as initiated by International Society for Krishna Consciousness, should be introduced in every town and village. Intelligent men should encourage the performance of Sankirtan Yajna by their personal behavior. So Prabhupada is giving us an instruction that we have to, follow these festivals that we do in International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and we should encourage in every town and village by our personal behavior. We have to take up this Sankirtan Yajna and teach people how to become Krishna conscious. This means that they should follow the process of austerity by restricting themselves from illicit sex life, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. If the intelligent men or the brahmanas of the society would follow the rules and regulations, certainly the entire face of the present world, which is such a chaotic condition, would change and people would be happy and prosperous. So this is the peace formula. Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Bhuktaram Yajna Tapasam, Sarvalokam Maheshwaram. So when we offer everything for Krishna, what happens? Automatically there will be peace and prosperity. This is the formula that Prabhupada is asking us. He's instructing us that we have to personally adopt to take to Krishna consciousness and ensure that we follow all the festivals and we preach the Sankirtan Yajna. All the great sages transformed Brihaspati into calf and making the senses into a pot, and they milked all kinds of Vedic knowledge to purify words, mind, and hearing. So what are the great sages are interested? They are interested in the Vedic knowledge so that their minds, they can purify their words, mind, and hearing. Here Prabhupada says, as far as the transcendental vibrations are concerned, the essence of the Vedic knowledge is the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the Kali Yuga, if this Vedic Mahamantra is chanted regularly and heard regularly, By the devotional process of Shravanam and Kirtanam, it will purify all the societies, and thus humanity will be happy both materially and spiritually. So again, emphasis all is on the Sankirtan Yajna, chanting the holy names. 15. All the demigods made Indra, king of heaven, into calf, and from earth they milked the beverage soma, which is nectar. Thus they became very powerful in mental speculation and bodily and sensual strength. So each one of them, depending upon their inclinations and the modes of material nature they have acquired, they started to take some benefits from Mother Earth. So the demigods made Indra as the calf, and they milked beverage soma, which is the nectar. And because of that, they become very powerful in their mental speculation, bodily and sensual strength. So the Prabhupada writes, soma is not actually a liquor, it's a kind of nectar which rejuvenates the body mentally and sensually and physically. 16. The sons of Dili and demons transformed Prahlad Maharaj, who was born in an Asura family into a calf, and they extracted various kinds of liquor and beer, which they put into a pot made of iron. So here, what did the sons of Diti, the demons, did? They transformed Prahlad Maharaj into a cow, and they took all kinds of liquor, beer, and they stored it in the iron pot. Whereas previously the demigods, they stored the nectar in the golden pot. But because this is an inferior quality, it is stored in the iron pot. 17. The inhabitants of Gandharva Loka made Vishwa Vasu into a calf, and they drew the milk into a lotus flower pot. The milk took the shape of sweet musical art and beauty. So Gandharvas and Apsaras, they are interested in the music and arts and beauty. So they're taking those benefits. 18. The fortunate inhabitants of Pitraloka who preside over funeral ceremonies made Aryama into a calf. We take them food offered to ancestors into an unbaked earthen pot. So if you go to the Pitraloka, the predominating deity is Aryaman. So we offer oblations to our forefathers so that they don't get any ghostly bodies, and they have credits in their spiritual journey towards Krishna. So we offer oblations. So what did the inhabitants of Pitraloka did? They made Aryaman into calf, and they milked kavya, the food which is offered to the ancestors, into an unbaked earthen pot. 19. After this, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka as well as inhabitants of Vidyadhara Loka transformed the great sage Kapila into a calf, and making the whole sky into a pot, they milked out specific yogic mystic powers, beginning with anima. Indeed, the inhabitants of Vidyadhara Loka acquired the art of flying in the sky. So Prabhupada gives the eight kinds of siddhis that the Siddhaloka people are perfected. Yama, Niyama, sorry, that is Anima, Lagima. Sorry, I forgot.
Vasita, Kala Vasaita, Kama Vasaita.
Yes. Yeah, so you can become smaller than smaller, bigger than bigger. You can control other people. Yeah, so there are different kinds of siddhis. So basically you get these siddhis when you follow the Ashtanga Yoga process. But here they are taking benefits of the earth. And also the Vidyadharas from the Vidyadhara Loka, they were taking the benedictions of, flying from one planet to another. And they made Kapila Muni, Kapila Muni from the Canto 3, because his father was Kaddama Muni. Prabhupada gives an example how Kaddama Muni was able to create this aeroplane and was traveling around the universe. So they made Kapila Muni and they got the benefits. 20. Others also, the inhabitants of planets known as Kimpurusha Loka, made the demon Maya into a calf, and they milked out mystic powers by which one can disappear immediately from others' vision and appear in a different form. So the Kimpurusha Loka people, what did they do? They turned Maya into a calf, and they wanted, again, some mystic powers so that they can disappear from one place, they can appear in another place. Then Prabhupada gives an example from the Krishna pastimes. Bakasura appeared before Krishna and his cowherd boyfriends as a gigantic crane. So, Bakasura was actually a demon, but he transformed himself into a gigantic crane. So Krishna also played, with so many wonderful demons in Vrindavan who were exhibiting so many mystic powers. So similarly, people from the Kimpurusha Loka, they are also interested. 21. Then the yakshas, rakshasas, ghosts and witches who are habituated to eating flesh transformed Lord Shiva's incarnation, Rudra, Bhutanatha, into a calf and milked out beverages made of blood and put them into a pot made of skulls. So again, depending upon the inclination and depending upon the modes of nature that is affecting them, that is pulling them to that particular direction and taking the benefits out of the Mother Earth. So what are they interested in? In flesh and blood. So they approached Bhutanatha, Lord Shiva, because he's a master of ghosts. And then they took blood and collected in the skulls. 22. Thereafter, cobras and snakes without hoods, large snakes, scorpions, and many other poisonous animals took poison out of planet Earth as their milk and kept this poison in snake holes. They made calf out of takshaka. If you will see in the Canto 12, takshaka, he will be the one who will actually bite Parikshit Maharaj. So they are interested in poison, so they got poison. This is where Prabhupada writes, the Lord is supplying everyone food, but according to the living entity's association with the modes of material nature, the living entity develops his specific character. So if you feed a snake with milk, it turns into poison. But if you feed a Vaishnava or a Brahmana with milk, he will be thinking about his higher spiritual life. So see how Prabhupada is saying it's the same thing. But if you give to one living entity based on the nature it acquired, the result is something different. 23 and 24. The four-legged animals like the cows made a calf out of bull who carries Lord Shiva and made a milking pot out of the forest. Thus they got fresh green grasses to eat. Ferocious animals like tigers transformed the lion into calf. Thus they were able to get flesh for milk. The birds made calf out of Garuda and took milk from the planet Earth in the form of moving insects and non-moving plants and grasses. So again, how are they getting their food? 25. The trees made a calf out of banyan tree, and thus they derived milk in the form of many delicious juices. The mountains transformed the Himalayas into calf, and they milked a variety of minerals into a pot made of a peak of hills. So in this way, everyone respectively, they took whatever they needed. 26. The planet Earth supplied everyone his respective food. During the time of King Prithu, the earth was fully under the control of King. Thus, all the inhabitants of earth could get their food supply by creating various types of calves and putting their particular types of milk in various pots. Purport. This is the evidence that Lord supplies food to everyone, as confirmed in the Vedas. Eko bahunam yo vidyate kamam. Although the Lord is one, he is supplying all necessities to everyone through the medium of planet Earth. There are different varieties of living entities on different planets, and they all derive their eatables from their planets in different forms. On the basis of these descriptions, how can one assume that there is no living entity on the moon? Every moon is earthly, being composed of the 5 elements. Every planet produces different types of food according to the needs of its residents. According to Vedic Shastras, it is not true that the moon does not produce food or there is no living entity is living there. So we are still, searching for it. Is it only dust? Is it only rocks? Is there some living entities? But if we take Shastra, we are so much ahead, There is already, Prabhupada is saying, Shastra is saying, there is life. But the life may not be the same as what we see. In a room, you can see there are so many microorganisms, but you cannot see it. You need an apparatus and you need to have that education. I was a science student, When we had this lens, we have to put that into the microscope, and even seeing in the microscope, you wouldn't identify what is what unless the teacher and then the textbook will tell us, okay, this is how the amoeba looks, this is how the paramecium looks, then only we will be able to identify, right? So without the help of the guru, without the help of the Shastra, how is that we are thinking that we will be exploring or knowing Krishna's creation? We need help of the guru, sadhu and Shastra. This is what Brahma will be praying after the Brahma Vimohala Leela. People, if they're very expert, they can go to a higher planetary, even they can go to Brahma Jyoti. But because they haven't got the shelter of the guru, they will fall down again back. But one who has taken the shelter of the spiritual master and Krishna, they will never fall down. In the 11th canto also, there is a very beautiful verse. It is said that anyone who is practicing devotional service, if you blindfold, even they're walking and running, nothing will happen to them. But whereas if it's a non-devotee, even you are awake, at every step there will be a fall down. This is the beauty of the devotional service. 27. My dear Vidura, chief of the Kurus, in this way King Prithu and all others who subsist on food created different types of calves, milked out their respectable eatables. Thus they received their various foodstuffs, which symbolized as milk. So here is also an indication in this verse saying that they approached Mother Earth. So then they might not be milking, but they have approached taking the calf. Like say, for example, Prithu took Swayambhuva Manu, the Himalayas, the mountains took Himalayas. So the Mother Earth being affectionate to that particular devotee, she gave the supplies according to their demands. So this is also an indication in this verse. 28. Thereafter, King Prithu was very satisfied with the planet Earth, for she sufficiently supplied all the food to various living entities. Thus, he developed an affection for the planet Earth, just as if she were his own daughter. Now here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes a comment. I'll just read that for you. 1 second. He didn't accept Mother Earth as wife or Mother Earth as mother, but he accepted her as a daughter. Why is it so? 1 second. This is 28, right? Yes, 1 second. It was inappropriate to take her as wife since he milked her for food with his own hands. It was inappropriate to take her as his mother because in the past he threatened to punish her with his arrows. Finally, when affection appeared, he took suitably her as his daughter. So this is the reason why Prithu accepted Mother Earth as daughter, because the affection was there, and then he related as if daughter. Now the section is changing. The last few verses, 29 to 32, is how the establishment of different cities and leveling of Mother Earth. After this, the king of all kings, Maharaj Prithu, leveled all the rough places on the surface of the globe by breaking up the hills with the strength of his bow. By his grace, the surface of the globe almost became flat. So in the past, before King Prithu, what was happening? Indra used to send the thunderbolt, and the thunderbolt used to cut down the hills. But then that was the business of King Indra, Prabhupada says. But King Prithu didn't wait for it. He actually took the bows and he leveled everything just by his bow. To all the citizens of the state, King Prithu was as good as father. Thus, he was visibly engaged in giving them proper sustenance and proper employment for subsistence. After leveling the surface of the globe, he earmarked different places for residential quarters inasmuch as they were desirable. You remember this was the request of these citizens. They came to King Prithu saying, please, take care of our hunger problems. Please make sure that we are employed. Give us. So he was fulfilling all the requests of his citizens. 31. In this way, the king founded many types of villages, settlements, towns, and built forts, residences for cowherdsmen, stables for the animals, places for the royal camps, mining places, agriculture towns, and mountain villages. So that's why he is the, Adi Raja, the first king who did all the planning. 32. Before the reign of King Kritu, there was no planned arrangement for different cities, villages, pasturing grounds, etc. Everything was scattered, and everyone constructed his residential quarters according to his own convenience. However, from the time of King Kritu, plans were made for towns and villages. In the purport, from this statement, it appears that town and city planning is not new, but has been coming down since the time of Prithu, King Prithu. In India, we can see regular planning methods evident in very old cities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many descriptions of such ancient cities. Even 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna's capital Dwaraka was well planned, and similar other cities, Mathura and Hastinapur, now New Delhi, were also well planned. Thus, the planning of the cities and towns is not a modern innovation, but was existing in bygone ages. Now, this is such a nice things to preach. We can use all these things to preach to people and to show and turn them back to the Vedic culture. Many people have this misconceptions that, Vedic culture means following blind. It's all about blind belief, superstitious. But we can show what all is included in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Prithu Maharaj Milks the Earth Planet. So we finished chapter 18. We'll take, if we have any questions or comments, and then we'll take 10-minute break. Any questions or comments or realizations? Anything that stuck anyone? So otherwise, we will take 10 minutes break and we will resume for the next chapter. Is okay? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Stop sharing. Is everyone back? Is everyone?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for confirming. So now we are going to very interesting chapter. It's the last chapter, King Ritu's 100 horse sacrifices. So before we, anything anyone wants to share? So here we have 3 sections. I'm just sharing my screen, just 1 second. Okay. Right. Here we have 3 sections. 1 to the 9 talks about the performance of the Yagnas by King Ritu. 10 to the 25, Indra seals the sacrificial horse and creates different kinds of heretics. It's very interesting how Indra is bewildered and he's doing all these kind of things. 26 to 42, when Lord Brahma appears on the scene and he requests Prithu not to perform any sacrifices. So we will do a recap. Sorry, share another one. Oh. Where is my slideshow? Okay. Is everyone able to see my screen? Not yet, maybe.
Yes, Mataji.
Good. So this is Prithu's pastime. This is from the Bhagavatam chapter. Oh, this is chapter 19, isn't it? Sorry. So this is a quick recap what happened in chapter 18. So Prithu, then there's a calf, the milk pot, the calf, pot, and milk. So Prithu was there, Swayambhava was the calf, and pot was the hand, and the milk, herbs, and grains. The sages, the calf is Brihaspati, the pot is the senses, and they milked Vedic hymns. The demigods made Indra as the calf. They had the pot, the golden pot, and they got the soma, the nectar. Daityas or the demons, they made the calf as Prahlad. The pot is iron pot, and they got the liquor. Gandharvas and Apsaras, Vishva Vasu, and the lotus flower was the pot, and musical art and beauty, that was the yield. Pitris, Aryaman was the calf, unbaked earthen pot, and Kavya, the food offered to the ancestors. Then Siddhas, they made Kapila as the calf, sky is the pot, and they got different kinds of siddhis. And Vidyadharas, they made Kapila again as the calf. Again, the sky is the pot, the art of flying. Kim Purushas, the calf is Maya, but the pot wasn't very clear. What pot did they use? Neither acharyas commented upon this. And they got mystic powers, art of disappearing at one's will. Then Yakshas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, Pitsachas, they made the calf Rudra. The pot is the skull, and the beverage is made of blood. Snakes and scorpions, Takshaka. And then the pot is snake holes, mouth. And then the yield is poison. Then cattle, Andi was the calf, forest is the pot, and the grass. Kandaras, they made lion as the calf, forest as the pot, and they got flesh. Birds made Garuda as the calf, and pot was their stomach, and they got insects and fruits as their food. Trees, they made banyan tree. Again, here the pot is not very clear, but they got delicious juices. And the last, the mountains, Himalayas, they made the pot as the peak of hills, and then they got minerals. So we saw how King Prithu was behind the Mother Earth. She was running around the universe, but Prithu was also chasing, and finally he got his desires fulfilled. Now, in this particular chapter, we will see there are some horse sacrifices Prithu aimed to complete. He aimed to complete 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. But somehow the other, Indra was coming in disguised form. He was stealing the horse of the last sacrifice. And then because he took the advice and guidance of Brahma and the great sages, Lord Vishnu appeared on the arena of the sacrificial arena, and he instructed Prithu. So we'll go start reading the chapter. As it comes, we will discuss more about the dharma. Verse 1. The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidya, King Prithu initiated the 100 sacrifices at the spot where the river Saraswati falls to the east. This piece of land known as Bharata, it was controlled by Swayambhu Manu. So he wanted to perform 100 sacrifices. Then he chosen Brahmavarta as a spot. And it is ruled by Swayambhu Manu. And the most powerful Indra, king of heaven, saw this. He considered the fact of that King Prithu was going to exceed him in fruitive activities. Thus, Indra could not tolerate the great sacrificial ceremonies performed by King Prithu. So, why is Indra afraid? Can anyone guess? Or why is Indra afraid of Prithu performing 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas?
Because Mataji, Indra is Satkratu, and anyone who done 100 Ashwamedha Yagya, he is able to get the throne of Indra or heavenly kingdom. That's why he don't want anyone come on his kingdom.
Yes. So Indra became, he was not comfortable that Prithu was performing. Yes, Rukmini Mataji.
Mataji, same, that if one performs 100 yagyas, so that person can become Indra. And of course, if I am the Indra, why will I allow anyone to take my position? So Indra every time he gets afraid.
Yeah, so you're building up the pastime already. That's very nice. So Rukmini, let me ask you, if you're Indra, why would not you allow anyone to become Indra?
Because Mataji, I'm attached to the position, not to the service. I'm a condition.
But
In the higher
subtly, what
planets
is
also,
that quality? But subtly, what is that quality that you are attached to that is not allowing others to flourish?
Bhog, Mataji, Bhog.
Bhog.
Material desire.
Prabhupada writes in the purport. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Yes, Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
Maji, it's envy.
Envy, yes. Why envy is the problem?
Because Mataji, if I am envious of anybody else, then I'm not focusing on myself. I am focusing on the other person. How are they flourishing? How are they progressing? I am not bothered about myself.
Yeah.
So that occupies my mind. Instead of focusing on myself and working on me and looking at my own spiritual life, I'm focusing on the other person. So that has a counter effect. That's not going to give me anything.
But Indra is a devotee, but why still he has this envy?
Pride. Because he is proud of his. Pride. What I think is, I may be wrong here, but since he's proud of his opulence, he's proud of his position, so he's attached to it. He doesn't want to lose it. But when he sees that Prithu Maharaj is catching up to that, then he sees that when he's going to lose his position, he's going to lose his opulence, and then Prithu Maharaj is going to be equal to Indra. So that gets him to enviousness. Okay, I will not let him get to my position. So that way is
Mm.
one thing leads to the another. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah. So it's kind of you're there, but still a little bit more. I think Rukmini gave an answer. That's because it's the quest for the bhog that you want to enjoy. It's not only the pride, it's the quest to enjoy, you know, what is in it for me? What if I'm missing out that enjoyment that, you know, others will be getting? Sachinanda Maharaj he wrote an article. No, he spoke about one story, and it was presented in an article. He was telling that how there was a poor person, and this poor person was crying. He was crying in the forest, and the forest devata decided, okay, you know, I cannot hear to his cries. Let me go and help him out. So the forest devata appeared before this poor person and asked him, "What happened? You know, I'm always troubled and I'm suffering." Then the forest devata said that, okay, I will give you whatever you want, but on one condition. Whatever you will get, your neighbor will get double of it. If you're happy with that condition, I will grant your desire. And then the poor person said, okay. So he went home and he saw the entire family and decided that, okay, the first wish I want to make is I want to get a bigger house. And he got a bigger house. And next morning, he went out of the house and he saw that his neighbor had a bigger house than him. Then he thought it's good for him. But then inside he was like, oh, he hasn't worked for it. You know, it came because of me. That was his feeling. And again, after a few days, he was thinking that, okay, I need to get money. So let me pray to the forest devata. Again, the forest devata comes and she bestows money. And the forest devata also gives money to the neighbor. So whatever he has, it is the double amount of money the neighbor has. Then again, he is thinking, good for him. But he's not earning. It's all because of me. He's getting it for free. You know? And again, after a few days, he was thinking that, oh, my house is too small. So let me have a 2-storied house or 3-storied house. Then he prays to the forest devata. And the forest devata grants him 3-storied and to his neighbor 6-storied. Then he's again thinking, good for him, but I am responsible for his, you know, opulence. Then for several weeks he's thinking, you know, what can I do that my neighbor will be not happy? Then he prayed to forest devata saying that, you know, remove one of my eye. And next day morning he went and he saw that the neighbor had 2 eyes removed. And then he was happy. This is envy. You know, we cannot we cannot be happy seeing others happy. And this is not the nature of a devotee. This is the nature of a conditioned soul. That's what Prabhupada writes in this purport. In the material world, everyone comes to enjoy himself or lord it over material nature, is envious of others. If we want to enjoy, that means that we want to be the controller, we want to be the proprietor, we want to be the center of the universe. And this envy is also found in the personality of King of Heaven, Indra. As evident from revealed scriptures, Indra was several times envious of many persons. He was especially envious of great fruitive activities and execution of yoga practices and siddhis. Indeed, he could not tolerate them, and he desired to break them up. He was envious due to fear of that those who perform great sacrifices for the execution of mystic yoga might occupy his seat. You know, whenever there is a great sage doing some great mystic penance or austerity, what does he do? He sends apsaras. Okay, go destroy. You know. Since no one in the material world can tolerate another's advancement, everyone in the material world is called matsara, envious. But who can understand Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto, first chapter, second verse? Who?
is not who is not
Who is
envious.
not envious. Nirmatsaram. So anyone who comes in touch with the Srimad Bhagavatam, what happens to them? This envy is going away. This is one of the reasons why we have to hold very strongly to Bhagavatam, because it removes our envy. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore thus said that Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for those who are completely nirmatsaram, non-envious. In other words, one who is not free from the contamination of envy cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, however, if someone excels, other person, the devotee who is excelled, thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in devotional service. Such non-envy is typical of Vaikuntha. You remember from the third canto, when there is a description of the Vaikuntha, everyone is praising the other devotee. You know, all the birds, they stopped singing because they want to hear the bumblebees. All the flowering plants, they're looking at Tulsi Devi and they're glorifying Tulsi Devi. Right? You remember from this is chapter 9 maybe of the third canto. This is, if we are non-envious, this is what we create around us. However, when one is envious of his competitor, that is material. The demigods posted in the material world are not exempt from envy. Now, a question to everyone. As a practicing devotee, what are some ways that we show envy? What are some ways that we show envy?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, in our services, we want that this is very nice and it should be done as we can take example in youth preaching or fund collection or book distribution, but it's done by me only, not anyone else. It should be
Okay.
done, but it's by me, not my anyone else. Or
Okay.
sometimes we think that how this devotee is growing in bhakti, why I'm not.
Okay. Yes. Yes, very nice. So we are already thinking that, why is the other devotee doing? Who is there? Who is she? Who is he? Nice. Yes, Jagat Mata Sachimata.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji,
Hi.
what I observe myself is that when I see some devotee progressing and doing night services and performing very good austerities, I try to find fault in that devotee instead of I must at that time I must clap for the devotee, but I try to find fault.
We
Then
find faults.
yes.
Yes, we find faults that, instead of taking something good out of them, but we actually find faults. Very
At that
nice, yes.
time, I can clap for the devotee, but I try to find fault.
Very good. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Rukmini?
If I have envy, that yes, the few points I already told, but just want to say again that I will jealous that why this devotee is progressing, why he or she is doing so much services, and I will just putting in the material how non-devotees do. They just let other down to prove themselves up. So this is the one of the quality that if I will say that this person is bad, you don't know this and that. So this can be one of the
ways that we always try put them down instead of lifting them up. Yes. Priya Satyabhama Mataji?
Mataji, all points covered. I had 3 points: fault finding, putting others down, and jealousy. Everything covered.
Now, what are some solutions? Of course, one solution that Prabhupada gave in the purport is very straightforward, that, we appreciate, like we are thinking already in our thinking patterns, we are just thinking how fortunate, this devotee is advancing in bhakti. What are some other ways that we can think how to, crab this envy? Yes, Rukmini Mataji.
Mataji, first of all, there is a need to diagnose it that yes, I'm suffering from enviousness, first of all. Then there is a need to find the Krishna connection, that this so and so devotee is serving because Krishna has blessed that devotee to pursue these services. He's just the medium. Yes, he's performing, but the strength, whatever, everything in the world is Krishna and Krishna's. So, whatever that devotee is doing, by the blessing, Krishna has blessed him, and every soul is blessed with the unique quality. If some other person is a president, I might be cleaning the floor. I might clean the floor at the very, good level. So how this is how I can do. So Prabhupada also says that no service is like decorating a deity and cleaning the floor will get the same benefit. So like a few things, Mataji. And one more thing, whatever, actually I heard many years back, 10 years back or so, I heard the lecture. So I remember whenever we suffer from this, so what should we do? First of all, we should glorify that devotee.
Right, by glorification, proper glorification.
So we can really come, this really helps much.
Thank you, Rukmini. Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
So Mataji, a strong sadhana first, is the basis of all of this. And then keeping Krishna always in the center. Because if you keep it that way, then it becomes, that every service that was performed was for Krishna. So there is no need to be envious of anyone or be jealous or think the other way. And the third one is focusing on yourself. Because if you try to look what is wrong with you, you want to work on that. And then instead of, finding faults in others. And the fourth one is, I think this can help us out is working together.
Working together. What do you mean by working together?
So, Mataji, no service can be performed by one person, right? You need a team or you need help of other devotees. So instead of, finding faults in others, you might want to work with them together so that the result of the performance of that service is up to the mark. Prabhupada has set some standards for every service. Be it anything, cooking, cleaning, decorating the deities, or XYZ, anything. Prabhupada has given standards for everything. So if we work together, I think that is the only way we can achieve those standards instead of, fighting with the others or, finding faults and everything. So I think this can help us.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. Jagat Mata Sachi Mata.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
When my point is that we can overcome it when we see some devotee progressing. We can, instead of getting jealous of the devotee, we can further motivate and clap for the devotee or appreciate that devotee. That really helps to overcome the jealousy. And obviously, a strong sadhana really helps, as Priya Satyabhama Mataji said. And focusing on ourselves, our sadhana is the best thing. That already is Priya Satyabhama. I also believe in it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Marendra Hari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Mataji, my first point was, as Rukmani Hari Sevri Mataji told, once I asked with Sachidanand Swami Maharaj, he was taking a brahmachari class in Panjaiva, how to get rid from this envy, and he told, right, appreciation of devotees by whom you are getting envy. So I've started this and it's really work. And second thing is, Mataji, once is this Rukmani Kisturji has told me, was asked question in Bhagavatam Rohini only. So why if we see that anyone else is getting flourish or getting some post or famous, then he told me that by his pious karma, old pious, previous pious karma, he is getting such thing. So why we should we get envy from him? And third, Mataji, one solution I matlab used to do in my life by for getting free from this envy, reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam. By this, I started appreciate to everyone, whoever envious, non-envious, everyone starting appreciating. So this actually helps. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, I was also thinking, because my teacher used to give us this task, to write appreciation for the devotees who we envy. First of all, we identify which devotees I am envious of, and then we should write an appreciation for those devotees. And it's very, churning of the heart, because, first of all, you need to think, why are you envious of that devotee? And then you actually write appreciation for those devotees. Another way also is to pray to the Lord that, I'm really suffering from this anartha of envy. We are in this material world because of the envy. We are envy of Krishna. We want to be material. We want to enjoy like Krishna. That's why we are here, right? And yes, Prabhu, as you said, reading Bhagavatam, there's one verse, I'm not able to remember this verse. I think this comes in the 4th canto itself, where it is said that wherever the Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken, even for the time being, the non-envious becomes free. And people, they forget about all kinds of anxieties. This is in the 4th canto itself, but I don't remember the verse. Sorry. If I remember, I'll post it. Yeah, and also having good sadhana, having appreciation and helping other devotees. These ways that we will be able to overcome this anartha of envy. So here Indra is suffering from this envy. He could not tolerate. Na mamasre, did not tolerate. So now he's going to take certain actions. And the Acharya said there are few reasons why he was not able to tolerate, because he saw that Prithu is qualified. He know that Prithu is qualified, and he could see the opulences of Prithu. So we will continue. Text 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is present in everyone's heart as Super Soul, and he is the proprietor of all planets and enjoyer of the results of sacrifices. He was personally present at the sacrifices made by King Prithu. So here we will see, Prabhupada writes in the purport, in this verse, the word Sakshat is significant. Although the Lord is present as a Super Soul, but here in the Prithu Maharaj Yagna sacrifice, the Lord personally is also present. So that's why the word Sakshat is significant. Prithu Maharaj was a Sakyavesh avatar, incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Actually, Prithu Maharaj was a living entity, but he acquired specific powers from Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, however, is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus belongs to the category of Vishnu Tattva. Maharaj belongs to the Tattva. Vishnu Tattva indicates God, as Jiva Tattva indicates part and parcel of God. When God's part and parcel is especially empowered, he's called Chavesh Avatar. And if you come a bit down, yes, here, he is described here as Sarvatma, meaning that he is present in everyone's heart as Super Soul. As such, he is the supreme teacher of everyone. If we are fortunate enough to take lessons given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, our lives immediately become successful. No one can give better instructions to human society than Lord Krishna. So we will see how Lord Krishna will be coming to the sacrificial arena of Prithu in the next chapter, chapter 20. But what made him come? This is something that we will see in this chapter. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharvaloka, the great sages and residents of Apsaraloka all praised him. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhaloka and Vidyadharaloka, all the descendants of Diti and demons and yakshas. He was also accompanied by the chief associates headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Oh, he's already present. Sorry. I understood that he's coming later, but Lord Vishnu is already present. Okay, sorry, I got confused. Forgive me. 6. Great devotees were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, Dattatreya, the masters of the mystic powers, headed by Sanak Kumar, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. 7. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land became to be like the milk-producing Kamadhenu. Thus, by the performance of yajna, all daily necessities of life were supplied. So here Prabhupada writes about the Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is also the Surabhi cow, and Surabhi cows are basically in the spiritual world. And the Brahma Samhita glorifies how Krishna is always tending the Surabhi cows. Surabhi abhi palayantam. So it can deliver as much milk as one wishes to. So here Prabhupada is saying that, in the Bhagavatam, the only recommended sacrifice for the Kali Yuga is Sankirtan Yajna. And by doing Sankirtan Yajna and worshipping Lord Chaitanya, one can derive the same results of the sacrifice which is derived in any other sacrifices in the past. So Prabhupada says, now this Sankirtan movement has already been started by International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtan Yajna is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life: social, political, industrial, and commercial. Then everything will be very peaceful and smooth. Now we have the Srila Prabhupada's marathon coming up. So this is a nice opportunity to go out, distribute books, encourage people to sponsor books for schools and colleges, so that, we are spreading the Sankirtan Yajna on a very large scale. These society activities. Sorry. If we want to see people happy and prosperous, then the only way is by Sankirtan Yajna. Yes, Amarendra Hari Prabhu. You want to add anything, please? Hare Krishna. I'm not able to hear you.
Prabhuji,
Is
we are not
anyone
able
able to hear Prabhu?
Prabhuji,
Yeah,
we are
we're
not able to hear you.
hear. No, I was not able to. I am so sorry. My net is playing again. And the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. So here Prabhupada is saying that, if everyone follows Krishna's path, then the material creation will give ample. It wouldn't take us an extra endeavor, but actually Krishna will take care. Krishna will allow that material nature will give enough supply for us. 10. King Prithu was dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshaja. Because King Prithu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. King Prithu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by King of Heaven Indra, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. So seeing all these things that, in the last 99 sacrifices, how Lord Vishnu was present, how Devi Devatas are present, how the demigods were present, and how all the living entities and the predominating deities, they are offering again and again all the gifts to Prithu. King Indra was not able to digest it, basically. And now he is afraid, if I allow him to complete the 100 sacrifices, then he will take my post, because he's already a great devotee, So here Prabhupada writes, this was the 3 significant purposes expressed in the words. Adokshaja, Bhagavan Indriha, and Pritoha. As Prithu is an incarnation of Vishnu, yet he is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Although an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is nonetheless a living entity. As such, he must be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although one is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is an incarnation, he should not forget his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Kali Yuga, there are many such meditations to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Bhagavan Indriha indicate that living entity can be even acts as oh, I'm sorry. This is so plain. My sincere apologies. And in King Indra is described as Bhagavan, which is usually in reference to Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this case, however, King Indra is addressed as Bhagavan because he has so much power in his hands. Despite of his becoming Bhagavan, he is envious of incarnation of God, Prithu Maharaj. The defects of material life are so strong that due to contamination, King Indra becomes envious of the incarnation of God. You remember at the coronation time, King Indra was also present. And he heard the glories of Prithu. But still, he has seen the uncommon activities of Prithu, isn't it? But still, he is envious. This is the danger that we are in as well. That although we may become a very great devotee, but if we don't, if we don't work on our Krishna consciousness, if we forget that we are the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord, then this envy can also disturb us. We should try to understand, therefore, how a conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of King Prithu was the word Adokshaja indicates the personality of Godhead, who is beyond the expression of mind and words. However, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears before the devotee in his original form of eternal bliss and knowledge. The devotee is allowed to see the Supreme face although the Lord is beyond the expression of our senses and beyond our direct perception. Can anyone read the verse 11 for a minute? Sorry.
Okay, can you please
Can anyone
scroll down?
read verse 11? Okay. What happened? You're not able to see?
Yes, now Mataji. When Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yagya, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu. Shall I read the purport as well, Mataji?
Yes, go ahead. Thank you, Mataji.
King Indra is known as Kratu, which indicates that he has performed 100 horse sacrifices, Ashwamedha Yagya. We should know, however, that the animals sacrificed in the yagya were not killed. If the Vedic mantras were properly pronounced during the sacrifice, the animal sacrifice would come out again with a new life. This is the test for a successful yagya. When King Prithu was performing 100 yagyas, Indra became very envious because he did not want anyone to excel him. Being an ordinary living entity, he became envious of King Prithu, and making himself invisible, he stole the horse and thus impeded the yagya performance.
So here, even though he's Satakrutu, he has performed, he is very pious. Piety doesn't make you not free, it doesn't give you any freedom from envy in this material world. Only Bhakti can help us to get rid of this disease of envy. 12. When King Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appeared as liberated person. Actually, this dress was a form of cheating, for it falsely created an impression of religion. When Indra went out into the outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. So here, the first time, Indra is stealing the horse. But how did he steal? He came in the form of a mendicant. But he is a pakhandi. That means he's an imposter. He's a duplicate sannyasi. And who found it? The sage Atri found him, and he understood the whole situation. Prabhupada writes, the word pakhandi used in this verse is sometimes produced pasanda. Both these words indicate an impostor who presents himself a very religious person, but in actuality is sinful. Indra took up to the saffron-colored dress as a way of cheating others. This saffron dress has been misused by many impostors who present themselves as liberated persons or incarnations of God. In this way, people are cheated. We have mentioned many times the conditioned soul has tendency to cheat. Therefore, this quality is also visible in a person like King Indra. It is understood that even King Indra is not liberated from the clutches of the material contamination. The words amuktam iva, meaning as if he were liberated, are used. The saffron dress worn by the sannyasi announces to the world that he has renounced all worldly affairs and simply engaged in the service of the Lord. Such a devotee is actually a sannyasi or liberated. So Prabhupada quotes from the Bhagavad Gita 6.1 saying that who is actually a sannyasi? One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as if he is obligated in the renounced is actually renounced. And he's a true mystic, but not one who lights no fire and performs no work. Like cessation of a work is not sannyas. Sannyas means genuinely being detached from the fruits of the work and the work itself, but still they work for the benefit of the people. In other words, one who offers results of his activities to Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually sannyasi and yogi. Cheating sannyasis and yogis have existed since the time of Prithu Maharaj's sacrifice. So this is not a new thing. It's been from ages. This cheating was very foolishly introduced by King Indra. In some ages, such cheating is very prominent. In other ages, not so prominent. It is the duty of sannyasi to be very cautious because, as stated by Lord Chaitanya, that even a little spot on sannyasi's character will be magnified. You take a white cloth or a white board and you put one black dot. Where will be our focus going on? Onto one black dot. Nothing else. Therefore, unless one is very sincere and serious, he should not take up to the order of do not take up this provocation very in this age. Only exalt advanced understanding and adopt this of now three must to kill him. Wait. Son was asking him to wait because his weight. King Ingrid from always upon the spirit to consider just man. He did not arrow. So he saw that he was with and then I showed the first. But returned by him. I instructed him to kill the Hell King because that he become the lowest of all demigods due to his impeding the execution of King Prithu's sacrifice. So Atri understood that again King Prithu's son was deceived and he understood the lowly character of Indra. Then he sent again him. 16. Being thus informed, the grandson of King Vena immediately began to follow Indra, who was fleeing through the sky in great haste. He was very angry with him and he chased him just as a king of vultures chased Ravana. So this is the son of Prithu who is actually chasing Indra. When Indra saw the son of Prithu was chasing him, he immediately abandoned his false dress and left the horse. Indeed, he disappeared from that very spot, and the great hero, the son of Maharaj Prithu, returned to the horse to his father's sacrificial arena. Because of his chasing, King Indra decided that, okay, let me drop off the dress as well as the horse, and he disappeared. And son of Prithu, he brought back the horse. My dear Lord Vidura, when the great sages observed the wonderful prowess of the son of King Prithu, they all agreed to give him the name Vijita Swaha. So one who is victorious because he won the horse. So they gave him a title Vijita Swaha. 19. My dear Vidura, Indra being the and very powerful, immediately brought a dense darkness on sacrificial arena. Covering the whole scene in this way, he again took away the horse, which was chained with golden shackles near the wooden instrument where the animals were sacrificed. So this is his second attempt. Now he brought the dense darkness over the sacrificial arena, and then he again stole the horse. 20. The great sage Atri again pointed out the son of King Prithu that Indra was fleeing through the sky. The great hero, the son of Prithu, chased him again. But when he saw that Indra was carrying his hand a staff with a skull at the top and was again wearing the dress of a sannyasi, he still chose not to kill him. So again, Vichitasvaha, he understood that was Indra, but because he saw him in this religious dress, he decided not to kill him. When great sage Atri again gave directions, the son of King Prithu became very angry and placed an arrow on his bow. Upon seeing this, King Indra immediately abandoned the false dress of sannyasi, giving up the horse and made him invisible. So again, what happened? Now again, Atri understood and he asked son of King Prithu to chase him. And upon the arrow, seeing the arrow, bow and arrow of the son of King Prithu, Indra abandoned the second dress, the false dress of the sannyasi. And again, he became invisible, leaving the horse behind. Then the great hero Vijitaswaha, the son of King Prithu, took the horse and returned to his father's sacrificial arena. Since that time, certain men with the forefront of knowledge have adopted the dress of false sannyasi. It was King Indra who introduced it. So this is the consequences, when great people do anything, the common man follows. So Indra did some mischievous things and people took that as an advantage and they started up this false sannyasis. Prabhupada writes in the purport, since time immemorial, the sannyas order has carried the Tridanda. Later, Sankaracharya introduced Ekadandi sannyas. The Tridandi sannyas is Vaishnava sannyas and Ekadandi sannyas is Mayavadi sannyas. There are many other types of sannyas who are not approved by the Vedic rituals. A type of pseudo sannyas was introduced by Indra when he tried to hide himself from the attack of Vijayatasva, the great son of King Prithu. Now, there are many other types of sannyasis. Some of them go naked, some of them carry a skull and a trident, generally known as Kapalika. All of them were introduced under some meaningless circumstances, and those who have a poor fund of knowledge accept these false sannyasis and their pretenses, although they are not bona fide guides to spiritual advancement. At the present moment, some missionary institutions, without referring to Vedic rituals, have introduced some sannyasis who engage in sinful activities. The sinful activities are forbidden by the Shastras, are illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. These so-called sannyasi indulge in all these activities. So, Prabhupada is mentioning in Kali Yuga, the Pakandis are very prominent. However, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to kill all these Pakandis by introducing his Sankirtan movement. Those who take advantage of this Sankirtan movement of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness will be able to save themselves from the influence of the Pakandis. So what is our way to save ourselves is by engaging in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. 23. Whatever different forms Indra assumed as a mendicant because of his desire to seize the horse were the symbols of atheistic philosophy. So Indra became the cause of introducing these impostors into the society. And whatever the symbols he took, that became the propaganda for the atheistic philosophy in the modern age. The 3 lines from down, Prabhupada writes, such a sannyasi was introduced by Indra because of his jealousy of Maharaj Prithu. What he introduced is again appearing in age of Kali. Practically none of the sannyasis in this age are bona fide. No one can introduce a new system into the Vedic way of life. If one does so out of malice, he is to be known as Pasandi or atheist. Although it is forbidden, there are many Pasandis who coin terms like Daridra Narayan, Swami Narayan, although not even such demigods as Brahma and Shiva can be equal to Narayan. 24 and 25. In this way, King Indra, in order to steal the horse from King Prithu's sacrifice, adopted several orders of sannyas. Some sannyasis go naked, some sannyasis they wear red garments, pass under the name of Kapelika. These are simply symbolic representations of their sinful activities. These so-called sannyasis are very much appreciated by sinful men because they are godless atheists and very expert in putting forward arguments and reasons to support their case. We must know, however, that they are only passing as adherents of religion and not so in fact. Unfortunately, bewildered persons accept them as religious, and being attracted to them, they spoil their life. So here Prabhupada is also mentioning in the purport that, how the Shastras prohibits to take sannyas in the Kali Yuga. If people take sannyas not under the bona fide parampara, what are they? It is just for misusing. It is anything that is helping people to surrender to Krishna consciousness is to be accepted. So any other types of sannyas or religion, if they're not teaching us to surrender to Krishna, it's nothing but bogus. So I will show you something that I prepared from a presentation. Yes. Print slide. Is everyone able to see my slides?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 15th chapter and 12th verse, where Narada Muni is talking about the different kinds of irreligion that exists. Please.
Shall I read?
Yes, please.
There are 5 branches of irreligion, approximately known as irreligion vidharma, religious principle for which one is unfit, paradharma, pretentious religion, abhasa, analogical religion, upadharma, and cheating religion, chal dharma. One who is aware of real religious life must abandon these 5 as irreligious. Shall I continue, Mataji?
No, we will say, like, what is irreligion? Irreligion, vidharma means we are not following what is Krishna telling us to do. We are following our own mental speculations. And then we follow some principles which are not fit to be followed. This is paradharma. And pretentious religion means someone is looking very religious, but it's like a shadowing. It's a shadow. So it is pretentious. That's why religion is not real religion. And also analogical upadharma means we are not putting forward our main duties. And we use religion to cheat people. This is the Chala Dharma. So we have to know what is religion and what is irreligion. Then only we will be able to preach nicely. So Prabhupada says here in the purport, any religious principle, both principles running to the lotus of superstar Godhead Krishna, are to be considered religious principles of irregularity or cheating. And one who is actually interested in religion must give them up. One should simply follow the instructions of Krishna and surrender unto him. Today, to do this, of course, one needs very good intelligence, which may be awakened after many, many births. through good association with devotees and practice of Krishna consciousness. Everything but the principle of religion recommended by Krishna, Sarva Dharma Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vaja, should be given up as irreligion. And also, just like Indra has introduced many Pakandis, we also have so many Apasampradayas that we have to be aware of. These are modified pradayas, which should be aware of so that fall into their practices. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.17.5. We just finished chapter. One from Brahman, God Fortune, one Kumara, headed by Sanat Kumar, and one from Lord Shiva. These four systems of disciplic successions are still going on. As King Prithu has illustrated, one who is serious about receiving transcendental Vedic knowledge must accept a guru or a spiritual master in one of these four disciplic successions. It is said that unless one accepts a mantra from one of these sampradayas, the so-called mantra will not act in Kali Yuga. Many sampradayas have sprung up without authority and are misleading the people by giving unauthorized mantras. The rascals of these so-called sampradayas do not observe the Vedic rules and regulations, just like Indra here. You know, he acted according to the circumstances for his own sense gratification. He came in the form of sannyasis and he started up this apasampradayas. Although they are addicted to all kinds of sinful activities, they still offer the people mantras and thus mislead them. Intelligent persons, however, know that such mantras will never be successful. So as preachers of Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to know, what sampradaya are we in, we should be able to explain to the audience that, why they have to follow Krishna consciousness, why they have to take shelter of ISKCON, why they're taking shelter of the Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara, because they're bona fide. Not everyone who is showing a pretension of religion is actually religious. People should be very careful of these nonsensical sampradayas. To get some facility for sense gratification, unfortunate people in this age receive mantras from these so-called sampradayas. So we will also see some of the apasampradayas that exist. Instruction from one master must be on revealed one who line disciplic succession cannot manifest his own way of behavior. There's so many so-called followers of Vaishnava cult in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who do not scrupulously follow the conclusions of the Shastra and therefore consider to be apasampradaya, which means outside of the sampradaya. Some of these groups known as Aula, Baula, Kartabhaja, Neda, Daravesha, Sani Sahajya, Sakibeki, Smartha, Jati Gosai, Ativadi, Udadhari, and Gauranga Nagari. In order to follow strictly the disciplic succession of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one should not associate with these aprasampradayas. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 748. So Prabhupada is again warning us, although we are coming in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared from this material world, there are many aprasampradayas came, and these are some of the examples of these apasampradayas. And so we have to be very careful and strict that we don't fall into the hands of these apasampradayas. So I have taken some of the sampradayas. We will see what each apasampradaya means. Can each one of read one apasampradaya? Help with it. Read this again.
Shall I read? या तो मत तो पत I can manufacture my own way. This rascaldom has been condemned by Srila Rupa Goswami. He says that Harer Bhakti, you will find many so-called bhaktas crying, falling down on the ground, but immediately after that he's smoking bidi. So why this is going on? Because they do not follow the injunction of Srila Rupa Goswami, chanting, dancing very loudly, and after the performance is finished, I have seen it. Can you give me a bidi? You see, my throat is now dried up. So this is utpat. Srila Rupa Goswami has described this kind of so-called devotional attitude is simply disturbance. They imitate. Therefore, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has condemned. There are so many apasampradaya going on in the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotee. Who are they? Aula Baula, Karta Bhaja, Neda, Naravesha, Sani, Sahajiya, Sakhi Beki, Smarta, Jat Gosai. Then Ativadi, चूड़ाधारी गौरांग नागरी तोता कहे तोता कहे ए तारा संग नहीं कौरी Tota Babaji, he says, I do not associate with these classes of men. So, after disappearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many upper sampradayas sprang up. So, we should be very much careful that sampradaya means who are carefully following the Vedic principles. Srila Prabhupada lecture on Chaitanya Charitamrita. 320.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is warning us, although one is following, can say that following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we have to be very careful. Who are we following? Which Acharya are we following? So it is better to stick very, very loyal and faithful to Srila Prabhupada. You see how much Srila Prabhupada is protecting us. We wouldn't even distinguish. Like just like Sage Atri, he's able to understand Indra's, disguise and how he has become an imposter. We wouldn't be able to understand. It's only Srila Prabhupada in of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, so many apasampradayas have sprung up. So these are some of the examples. I think I have taken 6 or 7. I'll quickly read for you. Styles. The who consider the times of Krishna something like between a man and a woman. Material field artificially think that hearing Rasalila will help them by diminishing the lusty desires of their diseased hearts. But because they do not follow the regulative principles, but instead violate even ordinary morals, their contemplation of Rasalila is a futile attempt, which sometimes result in imitating the dealings of gopis and Lord Krishna. To forbid such habits of Prakriti Sahajas, Sri you're able to see, is everyone able to see this?
No, Mataji.
So what is this Sahajas doing? Imitating the Krishna and then all relationships with each other. And they think that they don't even follow the four agreements. And this kind of people exist in Andaman, they exist in Navadvip. So we have to be very, very careful who we are associating with. Mark the Brahmanas. Once again, I'll stop sharing and then I'll see again. Brahmanas so that they can perform the Vedic rituals. But actually, that is not the case. Such a man does not need to purification. The performance are not always have been from the holy. Srimad Bhagavad third to 37 Brahmana promote times of God. Still, for purify you to an little world. Next one is Sakibe. So perhaps about Sakibe that that this is more than a person who is going in spiritual and that way of perfection. Said if one takes poison that so indulgent emotional service is more dangerous than taking criminality. But the sense has them to through the sex It's great. So when people say that, I have to have the barricades, and they select and who is their wife, but they keep, they visiting men. So sometimes man, so this keep, so like this, like that, they confuse. And then the next group is jatais. Process. If I describe 13 to 13, I won't describe them. But one of the described important is Gosai. Gosai may create a cast of goings. I'm so sorry. Just they for the guys itself. So they said that becoming a gosai is a headache. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very sorry to see the condition of society. The original history of the Goswami is the 6 Goswamis. Now, out of the 6 Goswami, none of them were easily class. So far, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they were great politicians, prime minister, a finance minister in the government of Nawab Insa. And similarly, Raghunath Dasa Goswami, he was a big zamindar. So none of them were actually born in this Gosai caste. But these Jati Gosais, they made Is anyone able to get something out of this?
Mataji,
It's
no.
breaking, coming in and out, in and out. No, yeah, I also feel the same. Yeah, no, Mataji. I also feel the same. So what do we do now? So maybe we close the class here and we'll continue the class tomorrow. But of a little different time, if it's okay, from 5:30 to 6:30. We'll finish this class in 1 hour.
Mataji, now you are audible.
Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji.
I'm audible? Okay. Can we continue?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
We can.
Okay. So, did you hear Jati? Did you hear Jati Gosais?
Sorry, Mataji. Again, same problem.
Okay. So maybe we will wind up the class here because my internet is very fluctuating. So tomorrow I just need only 1 hour of class because we are finishing only unit 17. Cannot do at 4, but I can do at 5:30 to 6:30. Will it be good for everyone? We will discuss about the Apasampradayas and then we will wind up this chapter. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So,
yes, ma'am.
Is it suitable for everyone?
Devotees can please tell, can we keep 1 hour class tomorrow, 5:30 to 6:30?
Or 5:30 to 6:30?
Yes,
Okay,
Mataji, we can keep.
okay, Mataji.
Okay.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sorry for my internet issues. Please do forgive me. So we will continue the class tomorrow at 5:30. It's not much to discuss in chapter anymore. We just want to see and how it will help us to teach and protect ourselves as well. And then just yeah. Thank you for all my shortcomings. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.